the face that runs the place.
Long live living.
Goodbye and good night, bang.
How's it going, folks? Welcome to another edition of The Kickout, your weekly pro wrestling guides right here on 90.3 Near FM, on all good podcasting providers, and on the EMC Podcast Network. I'm Dave Cullen, and I'm joined by Hiroki Goto's possible barber, Daragh Maher. Daragh, how are you this afternoon?
Good.
You have a bit of it. You could have a job on January 4th.
It's Christmas, Dave.
Yeah, it's coming to Christmas.
It's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Christmas Eve. There you are.
Yes, the fourth most magical day of the year.
Fourth most magical day of the year?
Yeah.
Behind Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Stephen's Day.
No, not Stephen's Day. I'm not really a big...
New Year's Day.
No, I'm not a big New Year's guy.
Wrestle Kingdom.
Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Christmas Day.
And Wrestle Kingdom.
My birthday.
Of course. Well, add a fifth for Wrestle Kingdom. You could possibly...
Okay, fifth can be Wrestle King. Okay, so Christmas Eve is now the fifth best. God, it's like... It's like when we're trying to make nominations for the Kickies. We keep having to make compromises on different ones and having fights.
It took us a while to compromise that, for the record, but again, you could possibly be cutting the historic locks of Hiroki Goto, January 4th.
Well, if you see what I did to Tanahashi's hair, I think Goto would rather me just shave it off.
Well, to be fair, we saw that picture on his Twitter accounts.
You hadn't seen it?
No, we only seen this before we went on air, and I'm like, really?
Yeah. And
he had his hair shortened, but to be fair,
he belongs in the Brady Bunch. He's the man from the Brady Bunch right now with that hair.
No, she's your woman from the Goldbergs, new show.
Brady Bunch is older.
Yeah, okay, so for older.
Play along with the joke, Dave.
I know, I'm adding to the joke, but no one gets it. You're funnier than I am.
I've never watched the Goldbergs. So.
It's on Comedy Central.
Yeah, I don't.
Fair enough. Anyway, we're coming to you live from the FM studios in the beautiful North Dublin village of Coolock. I'll be here for the next 2 hours, bringing you the latest news, results, previews, rumours, and more from the world of professional wrestling. On this week's show, we'll be giving you all the latest news from the world of pro wrestling, both here and abroad. We'll be reviewing the past week's action from CCW, Clash of Champions, WWE Raw, Smackdown, 205 Live, and NXT. We'll be reviewing upcoming events such as Pro Wrestling Ulster's New Year's Blitz, and we'll also be making an announcement regarding our TKO Kickies towards the end of the show. All that to come, but first we're going to start, as always, with the news.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Also, good news, everyone.
We're going to start with New Japan, where they've added a stipulation to the Kenny Omega Chris Jericho match for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship at the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom 12. At a press conference prior to the last Road to Tokyo Dome show, New Japan Pro Wrestling revealed that Omega vs Jericho will now be a no disqualification match. The stipulation is a result of the two angles that took place last week, where Jericho first attacked and bloodied up Omega at New Japan Pro Wrestling's World Tag League Finals, and Omega tried to get retaliation by attacking Jericho during the press conference the next day. Both Omega and Jericho have hyped up the match as a fight, and it's not about star ratings. To further the build for it, Omega wrote on Twitter after the no DQ stipulation was announced, saying, quote, "No DQ isn't what I wanted, but it's what we both need in order to settle this. Hashtag Alpha versus Omega." Also, another news regarding the lead up to Wrestle Kingdom, after Cody Rhodes lost the Ring of Honor World Championship to Dalton Castle at a final battle in Ring of Honor last weekend, New Japan Pro Wrestling also made the official announcement that Cody versus Kota Ibushi will just be a non-titled singles match. Furthermore, the final builds for Wrestle Kingdom took place at Korakuen Hall ahead of the January 4th Tokyo Dome show, where Hiroki Tanahashi made his return and was laid out after a brawl with Jay White. Minoru Suzuki and Hiroki Goto continued their build-up for their hair versus hair match for the Never Openweight title, and Tetsuya Naito got the better of beat Kazuchika Okada at the last stop before their IWGP Heavyweight title match. So it's all coming straight forward to Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, of course, that Cody and Ibushi match is going to be a non-title match because there is no title on the line.
I know, but it was originally scheduled for the Ring of Honor title to be on the line, which I thought would be interesting. But either way, it's still an interesting match. So,
will Dalton Castle get a match then at Wrestle Kingdom? Because that's what they do. They defend the title there at Wrestle Kingdom. That's what they've done the last 2 years.
Did Adam Cole defend it last year?
I think so, yeah. I think it was against Kyle O'Reilly.
I think you're right, actually. Yeah, he won it back from Kyle O'Reilly, in fact.
No, he defended it.
Are you sure? He won
it back. You're right.
I'm pretty sure he won it back.
Yeah, he won it back. Yeah,
he won it at a New Japan show. Could have been that one. I'm not 100% certain. Who was champion last year? Jay Lethal. You're right. No, Jay Lethal was champion last year. You know who he defended it against?
Maybe he didn't defend it last year.
No, you're probably right. Yeah.
Maybe the Adam Cole thing was just a once-off.
Maybe it was just because of the last minute angle. Yeah. Like, but you never know. Like, it could easily be a case where last minute they decide to add.
Who put Dalton Castle up against though?
Anybody. Could be who's free.
I don't know. You could do a match with like maybe him and I don't know, Chris Daniels maybe or something.
Yeah, or Yoshi, or even someone in Japan like Yoshitashi or something like that. Sir.
Possibly. I'm sure he'd be involved in one of the many multi-man tag matches before the main matches.
I got one actually. Is Tomohiro Ishii is not at wrestling, is he?
Once again, probably in a tag match.
Yeah, but
yeah. There's like Evil, there's Sonata there as well.
Well, Evil and Sonata are against.
They're in the tag match. Sorry,
so
they've already been booked for. Yeah, because they won the tag league.
Yeah, so it certainly sets up very nicely as well. I actually didn't know. I knew that the hair versus hair match was with both Goto and Suzuki's hair on the line. So
Suzuki barely has any hair anyway.
I know, but he has hair. He just has
he has a little bit spiking up at the back.
He has half a mohawk. He has a back. He has a back hawk.
He's a back hawk.
Yeah. A back hawk and a spider pattern on his head.
Yeah. So like, it's not a law.
Fair.
It's not a law.
Still, I can imagine without it.
Yeah, bald guy.
So
and we'll see. Like, I would rather go to lose his hair. I think it'd be fun. It would actually be.
Have you seen him with a full head of hair before?
Who, Goto?
No, Suzuki.
No.
Back in the when he was king of Pancrase, like this was years and years ago. This is when Boss Root and all them were fighting then, and he had a full head of hair then. And by God, he looks so different.
Oh really?
Yeah. So.
Okay.
In fact, I saw one. There's actually one Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know which one it was. It was probably a few years ago, where he was instead of wrestling in all black, he was all white, and his mohawk was dyed blonde. He was like cozy, like just gone.
Like bleach blonde.
Can you imagine that on Minoru Suzuki?
No, and I don't want to. Don't ever show me pictures of that.
It's somewhere on YouTube.
Don't.
It's worth.
No, don't. No.
A face.
I just want to have the image of Goto, or not Goto, Suzuki as he is now.
Suzuki as he is now.
Yeah, because that's like badass Suzuki.
Yeah. Instead of face, angelic Suzuki.
No.
We'll move on anyway. Some big news from Ring of Honor this week.
Yeah, Ring of Honor's women division is finally getting its own championship. After hyping that there would be an announcement concerning the division made at last week's Final Battle pay-per-view, Ring of Honor revealed that they will be crowning their first ever Women of Honor champion in 2018. There will be a tournament to decide the inaugural title holder, which is set to kick off Ring of Honor's television tapings in Nashville, Tennessee on January 20th. Ian Raccaboli announced the news and introduced Brandy Rhodes, Devona Purrazzo, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, Jenny Rose, Jessie Brooks, Kelly Clean, Mandy Leon, Stella Gray, Sumi Saki, and Stardom's Mayu Iwatani. It was also noted that more wrestlers, including others from Stardom, will be involved in the tournament. And now, of course, people know that Women of Honor Wrestling is also there every week too. So it's about time that show has its own championship. And
it's an exclusive show. Like that's separating from the men. Like it's their own show, which is class. Like, you know, it's similar to Stardom, which is the indie promotion in so that's Japan. But what's the one that's in America that like has all women wrestling? Like all the like
is it Evolve? Not
Evolve. No, Evolve is like as Timothy Thatcher and all them.
Yeah. No, Evolve. It's not Evolve.
It was they had like Mercedes Martinez and Shayna Baszler and all those guys.
It's like Eve or something wrestling or something like that. Women's Eve or something.
Probably.
Like
Probably. I'll just Google it while we're talking about it. But again, like it shows like maybe it's Schwimmer actually. Now I think about it.
Oh, Shimmer.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Yes. No, Eve, I think, is the English company that are doing the women's only tournament soon enough. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is that. Yeah, so. Yeah, but again, it goes to show you, like, the only wrestler I know out of that bunch, obviously, I heard of Parizo, and maybe Kelly Klein, and obviously Brandy Rhodes.
I only know Parizo from.
Was she in the Megan Classic?
No,
or was she a jobber for NXT before?
She wasn't. No. Just.
Stella Gray sounds familiar as well.
Yeah.
Mandy
Obviously,
Leon.
Brandy we know about.
Yeah.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know many of them at all. No, not many.
Well, that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a new crop of ladies who are coming in, like, and certainly from the American and Japanese indies. So, so the unknown can pop a surprise, like the way I say it. Like, you know,
and like if you want to keep the show going, it does need to have a title there. So it's definitely the right time to do it. I'm actually surprised that that it's taken this long to have a first women's champion.
Well, I think it's good that I like why they it took them a bit of a while, as opposed to, like, it's opposite in a way.
Especially if it has its own dedicated show and it never had a champion.
That's a good point, but at the same time, what they concentrate on doing first was establishing a division, establishing a strong division, and having everything in place, enough solid people in there to work storylines, have faces versus heels, and after they establish all that, then they can make a championship, which I think makes a lot more sense, especially when you compare it to, let's say, 205, for example, who basically, as soon as the tournament was finished, title, which was a good thing, and it was attractive at the time. But you look at the situation where we've both argued about it, like in shows past, where we both think the Cruiserweight title is the focal point of the show. Yeah. Now it's slowly not becoming that. There is more to it than that. There's some rivalries, which obviously most of them aren't great. It's like, you know, like we'll talk about when we talk about 205 later on. But it's not the only thing. If 205 did the opposite and they tried to establish a division, as opposed, and let's say they only had the tournaments, and then took a while to establish a division, like, you know, like what they did with Women of Honor, and then set up a championship out of nowhere. Make a lot more sense then.
Yeah,
that could be the best way to do it.
I think a big problem with, though, comparing, say, the Women of Honor to 205 Live is the fact that, like, the Women of Honor shows, they're getting to wrestle their way of wrestling. They're not being told to wrestle, quote unquote, the WWE style of wrestling like the 205 Live competitors is. I think a big problem with the 205 Live was that they could do whatever. Like, the tournament that they had in the Cruiserweight Classic was fantastic because they got to have their own style of matches, which led to really, really exciting matches. But once they got in and they started having their weekly show in WWE, they had to wrestle the WWE way, and I think that's what hampered it. And I think that's what has led to 205 Live not being able to establish itself as a credible show.
That said, it has been improving a lot lately. It's
been improving. It's baby steps, but I don't know if this is Vince giving the guys leeway to do it, or maybe if this is the guys saying, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not fighting like I'm a heavyweight where I do 20 chokehold.
But they're not doing that. They're still wrestling their style. They're just doing it in a shorter time scale, which they're not used to. It's not even
a shorter time scale.
It is, though. It's like 5-minute matches as opposed to 20, 15-minute matches.
Yeah, true.
So it's a huge difference. Like, you know, I think Vince is giving them the go ahead in that sense. Like, you know, again, slowly but surely, but I think it's all within reason. Like, you know, so I think in retrospect, it's huge improvements.
He doesn't want the cruiserweights upstaging the other guys.
That's fine. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like that.
I know it doesn't have to be, but that's the problem that he's into, and the way that the cruiserweights have the more exciting wrestling styles, because it's a lot more high flying, and that's what people want to see.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean it has to upstage it, like, either. Like,
but it would naturally. It doesn't mean that it doesn't. It's not that they want to.
It can be a talking point, but let's say it would be the same situation where the tag team division would be upstaging. SmackDown's tag team division is white hot right now.
We can do it. I know it's not even just SmackDown; it's NXT's as well. Like, yeah. How many times have we said from a takeover that after the NXT title match that the main title match was let down because of how good the tag team title match was?
But I don't think it takes away from the main event. So, like, you know, like if one match is better than the other, like, you know, it adds to the show. Like, if it puts more pressure on the main event stars, but if they can't handle it, that's their thing. They have to try and it has to be a complete product. The way I see it, like, you know, it only depends if they're doing it for, let's say, If they've been told to do it that way, that they're then told to try and have the best match possible, then that's fine. If it's a case where they do it for the sake of doing it, then it's a problem. Like, you know, like then it takes away from the main events.
Okay.
Like, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
I'm trying to say, if it's a situation where they take away from, where they deliberately try to take away from the main events, then it's a problem. But because they're told to work, see, it's a fine balance. They want to be entertaining.
Well, it's a fine line saying deliberately and like not deliberately taking away from the main event, because these guys are out there trying to put on the best match they can to possibly get a call.
Well, what's worse, doing antics to take away from the main event, or doing their style of wrestling to take away from the main event?
True.
Think of it that way. On that note, we'll move on. Preston City Wrestling announced during the week that Apollo Crews will be taking part in their Roads to Glory 2018 tournament on February 10th. They noticed that Crews will be returning for one night only and thanked WWE, Triple H and William Regal for allowing them to do so. While he is still known as Urination, before heading to WWE, Crews held the Preston City Wrestling Heavyweight Championship from November 2018 to March 2015. He joined Zack Sabre Jr. as the first two wrestlers to be confirmed for the tournament. A few WWE wrestlers have appeared for UK promotions this year as WWE continues to develop working relationships overseas. Cassius Ohno and Noam Dar have appeared for CCW, while Jack Gallagher and Dakota Kai have featured on Progress Wrestling's two shows in the United States this summer. So it's nice to see that, like, you know, because especially if they're not being as busy, or certainly most of these guys are around NXT 205 level. I think that makes a lot more sense to break out to the indies.
The guys aren't doing much. Like, Apollo's not really doing much at all. So it's a good idea for him to get out there and just like get back to his indie roots where he was more over. And yeah, it's good for him. It's definitely a good sign from WWE that they're more open to it. And I like the fact that they're getting these working relationships. I say this is a bit to do with Triple H trying to branch out, because say if someone comes through their respected indie promotions, that is probably the next step, then WWE will basically have first pick.
I like to think that a lot of this is what they do with this is it tries to get them used to the techniques of going on the roads with WWE, because sometimes I just realized recently that could be a factor sometimes in how they decide who they want to be their main establishment guys. You could be the best wrestler in the world, but if you're not used to the road life of WWE, particularly in the main roster, NXT is different because they tape a few shows.
You've seen even just this week alone that everybody who's in NXT has pretty much gone home for the holidays.
That's it.
Which is a great thing, because it's not like when the Raw superstars are going to have to actually work on Christmas Day this year.
Yeah, Raw
which
guys.
is god awful. But well, it's the same for the NFL, so I can't just blame WWE. There's NFL games on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve this year too, so it's just the way that the days fell, unfortunately. But yeah, so like you're saying, the road life, it's you have to have a certain mindset to be able to cope with that. Exactly.
So, and I think that's how they view it. The better they get used to the road life, the more they try and establish themselves in the main roster. So that's probably why when you look at the main established guys who came from NXT, your Nakamura's, your Finn Balor's, your Bobby Roode's, although a lot of them are getting a bit more of a push now, particularly Roode's with the US title match that he had. I feel they try and see how they get on the road for maybe 6 months to a year and then see what happens. So if we notice still developments, it's because it could be because of that as well.
I wouldn't expect that from the likes of Rude and Nakamura and stuff like that for them, because they're seasoned vets who have lived on the road, though, in respective to TNA and in New Japan. They have lived on the road. They know what it's like to live on the road. I'd say I know what you mean, though. I know what you're coming from. I'd be looking more at the Ember Moons when she comes up. You know, like, say, the Revival, those guys, like Big E when he first came up, Seth when he first came up, they were tested to see if they were going to be,
and meanwhile they're relying on,
they were able to cope, being on the road,
and meanwhile they're relying on their more craft, on their veterans, so to speak. Like, that's why it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Like, that's why you have more established guys who are getting the runs are getting the better runs at the moment.
I think the way wrestling is nowadays, and the fact that there's so much on, that people are sort of getting used to the road life as independent wrestlers. Like, if you look at just here alone in the UK and Ireland, like if you follow any sort of wrestler on social media, whether that be Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever, you can see a lot of their tweets and stuff is them on the road, them in the airport, them on a train, them on a boat, them on a car, whatever. So they are used to that road life if they are doing it on the independent circuit, because you still have to do it there too.
One advantage to that as well is when you see what WWE, they're trying to test them out with these sort of tours as well. You're right, all these wrestlers that we mentioned, they're probably used to the roads.
Yeah.
WWE are used to their own guys, you've been used to that road, but it's still, if they're having working relationships with these guys, it gives them feedback from these promotions. They're like, no problem, they work
always
with
shows
us.
up, blah blah blah,
So it's
always willing. But I'd say even being an independent wrestler, you're on the road more than you would be on WWE.
I
think WWE do work out. Okay, there is a schedule sometimes where they are on the road.
I know. I say WWE schedule is way rougher.
I wouldn't think so.
I think so.
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't. Not anymore. Not compared to what it used to be. The way it used to be, yes, definitely. But
for the average wrestler, I disagree. Maybe for the likes of a Young Bucks or a Marty Scurll or a Cody Rhodes, maybe. But like Arrow, for example, who's constantly busy wrestling everywhere, that's different. But the average wrestler who would probably wrestle, once every weekend.
I'm not saying once every weekend, but I'm talking about like the established guys. I'm talking about the El Ligeros. I'm talking about the, say even the Joe Coffeys and everything like that. The ones that have to balance day jobs with independent wrestling because they aren't able to just afford it on their own. I say they're on the road more than established WWE wrestlers are. Because if you look at it as well, like if we go back to the whole social media side of it, you see a lot of them are actually spending maybe 2-3 days at home per week. Which WWE have made the conscious decision to do that, to pull back on the live shows a little more so that the guys aren't as burnt out and they can actually spend time with their respective families. It's
definitely an interesting debate, or a different outlook. We're looking at it that way, isn't it? We'll move on though. A lot of injury news coming this week. First off, with Noam Dar.
Yeah, after WWE announced on 205 Live this week that Noam Dar had a knee injury that would require surgery. An article on WWE.com noted that Dar underwent successful surgery on his left knee in Orlando. WWE claims that Dar suffered the injury, which was a bucket handle tear to his meniscus in the Cruiserweight Fatal 4-Way match. On the 27th of November episode of Raw. He then he got an MRI done on the Monday after weeks of lingering issues. While the exact time it will take him to recover from the injury hasn't been confirmed, Dar said on WWE.com that he's more likely going to be out for 5 months. Dar also notes that he hopes training at the Performance Centre will reduce the timeline.
You pay, especially like someone like that. We mentioned he's one of those guys who will get the odds indie show as well, especially ICW, which was his home.
Where
essentially.
He came from,
exactly. So now this happens. So but he's I think he's one of these guys who definitely has a future in WWE in the sense that sure he's not over at the moment. He's
still young. He's like what, 22, 23, something like that.
He's disgustingly young for like a WWE wrestler, and or WWE superstar, I should say, pardon my French. I feel they've tested the waters a lot with him, especially with the storyline with Cedric Alexander and Alicia Fox. So he has his comedic elements as well. As we see,
I love his Twitter. His Twitter is brilliant because he comes out with proper Scottish type comedy and words and stuff like that. And it's brilliant.
A lot of Billy Connolly reference as well.
Billy Connolly, not even that. It's just if you've ever seen TV shows like Still Game and what's the other one called?
These are Scottish shows.
These are Scottish comedy shows that you should watch, and you'd understand.
What's that crime show they have? That's been on for years.
I couldn't tell.
I remember David Tennant talking about it in an interview where he said there's some people who played 6 different murderers or something like that.
Oh, I can't remember.
If there's a Scottish fan out there who's listening, let us know. Tweet us in at the Kick Out Live. I think it's called Taggart or something, or Tarrant or something like that. I don't know, or Taggart.
Yeah, but there is comedy, the comedy. They're all on Netflix as well. You should check.
No, I don't have Netflix at the moment. I have to get it back.
Oh. Yeah, there you go. If anyone wants to get Dave a Christmas present this year, get him a Netflix subscription. But
it's a big present, €120. Actually, no, it's less than that.
We'll give you a 2 month. We'll pay for 2 months or something. But yeah, so his Twitter is fantastic. But yeah, I think he would have a future definitely in the 205 live division as well, providing that stays there for the amount of time that he's there.
It's nice to see that he's trying to get back into the training. He's trying to get back into training quickly as well.
Bright side as well. Like, I know these sort of knee injuries are terrible, but on the bright side, at least it happened at this time, and he can spend Christmas with his family.
Plus, he takes the time for him to improve now and reassess everything and go from there. Really, so sometimes stuff like that is a blessing. Like, as we've seen from the likes of like people coming back from injuries.
Maybe he can take some selfies with his dog.
Who knows? Who knows? Is that what he does?
No, that's all because it's Scottish.
Oh, okay.
Scottish humour, Dave, keep up.
I have to follow his Twitter more often then, don't I? There's an advertisement right there.
Yeah, I think you do.
More injury news. WWE also posted an update on Dean Ambrose injuring his right arm after Dr. Chris Ammon noted that an MRI showed suspicion of a high-grade tricep tendon injury, possibly a tear. Ammon said Ambrose has been undergoing surgical exploration and more likely surgical repair for the tricep tendon. Further updates included what the timetable of recovery is should be available to during the week, but it was actually later he actually did go on to repair the discus injury after being examined by Jeffrey Douglas, who is an operatic surgeon at the Andrews School Medicine and Operatic Center in Birmingham, Alabama. So, and it's clever the way they put them out, like, you know, because it looks like he's going to be out for a while now. But it's clever how the way when he was injured, it was actually a legit injury when he was wrestling, like, so it wasn't storylines whatsoever. So
yeah, he'd been wearing a strap on his elbow strap, for the last while. All right. Yeah, it's not really going well for the Shield since they got back together. It's really, has it?
No.
You know, first Roman had the mumps for doing something weird with is it Brandy? Is her name?
What?
The ring announcer. Because you know, Bray and Jojo, thank you, Jojo. Bray and Jojo were out with mumps, and then strangely, the only other person out with mumps was Roman Reigns.
Oh,
that's what I was saying. It's like, what were they getting?
No, maybe I always suspect it as a coincidence. Now you say it that
way. But yeah, he was out for a couple of weeks, and then now Dean is out. So the whole Shield reunion is turning into a short one, especially it depends on how long Ambrose is going to be out for too.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Like the way I see it, though, again, we'll talk about Noam Dar possibly coming back better, and we've talked about the possibility of, let's say, Dean Ambrose turning heel again. If he comes back, this could be the opportunity as well.
Could be. Yeah, it could be. I always thought that he was going to be the one to turn on the Shield. I say the plan was for him to do it before WrestleMania on Rollins, so they could set up a WrestleMania match.
It'd be a great match.
This kind of puts it into question. You got 4 months between now and WrestleMania. Is this arm surgery going to keep him out that long? If it doesn't,
a tricep injury, it could take a while.
It could take. Well, look what happened with Drew McIntyre and his arm. His arm injury now, and he's out for a couple of months too.
Yeah, he's aiming for WrestleMania, so
yeah. So it's difficult. It's difficult. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, it's not too serious. I know they had exploratory surgery there this week, and they'll probably find the full extent over the weekend.
They bang on repaired it now. They had exploration surgery first, and then they went on to repair it.
So there was no timeline given though.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's not too long.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too long.
We'll move on. Some really weird news this week. WWE have requested an extension to file an opposition in regards to a filing made with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. You've heard those guys before. By Mother Technology, a company based in Hong Kong. Mother Technology filed a trademark for the word wrestler for use with cases for smartphones as well as other smart-enabled devices.
Okay.
That is weird news. What kind of phone company would use wrestler as a case?
I don't know.
I get it. It wrestles your phone. It wrestles. It's a bear hugs it. Call it a bear hugger.
I thought like the case could just rest in your phone. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, but
your phone rests in the case.
Yeah, but it's pronounced R-E-S-T, not W-R-S-T.
I know.
R-E-S-T. Sorry, I didn't spell it right. It's a strange one, isn't it?
Yeah, I I really don't have anything to say on this.
I'm stumped. No more to be said.
Stumped.
No more to be said. We'll finish off the news with results over the other results for Ring of Honor.
Yeah, you mentioned it briefly in the news there. Dalton Castle defeated Cody
Final battle.
at the Ring of Honor Final Battle in last Friday's Hammersmith Ballroom in New York to become the new Ring of Honor World Champion. Other significant results included Silas Young winning the Ring of Honor TV title in a fatal 4-way against Punishment Martinez, Shane Taylor and Kenny King. Jay Lethal defeated Marty Scurll 1-on-1. The Young Bucks and Hangman Page retained their Ring of Honor 6-man tag titles against Flip Gordon, Dragon Lee and Titan. And the Briscoes defeated Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer in a New York street fight in Bully Ray's final match.
Final ever match.
Also, have you seen the amount of heat that the Young Bucks tag match is getting on at the moment?
This is from Being the Elites.
No.
Oh, sorry. I know what you mean. It's from all those drop kicks that happened.
It's from the start that they had. Yeah. What do they call it? It's called the International they run, isn't it?
Yeah, that big international where all 6 of them did like a drop kick at the same time. What exactly is the heat with that?
UFC fighter Daniel Cormier came out and criticised it.
Because
he wasn't the only one. There was a few that came out and says this stuff isn't wrestling, it's not choreographed, this is the stuff that I hate, why do grown men watch this and stuff like this.
But would he explain why?
They just thought it was stupid.
I see how
it's keeping it PG.
I see why people may have a hard time with it, but it is a bit over the top.
It started a debate, all right. These guys have started a debate. Obviously, the Young Bucks and Cody came out with classic lines saying, "Well, you guys talking about has just put money in our pockets or has just sold out the next arena. Thanks for that." It started a debate whether this stuff is actually entertaining or not. Now, I see it as part of a wrestling match, as how it's done. It's these guys trying to get the better of each other but being equal. That's the type of story that they're telling. Some people don't like it, and there's some people in the wrestling community as well that are saying that they don't like it too, which they're entitled to their opinion. I'm like I said, I myself, I think it's something that's it's something different than the usual starting the match of an international where you get in headlocks and then it goes into running the ropes and into another headlock and then maybe you test the strength. So it's something different.
Exactly. Like the thing is, I was on Ian Kelly's show that Dynamo's Dozen. We had this discussion, by the way. For anyone listening, shout out to Ian from Dynamo's Dozen. I was on his show earlier on this week. They do a fantastic podcast, so I recommend you check them out. They're on Podbeam like ourselves. When we had this debate about this, and Ian himself said he wasn't a fan of it either. Like he thought it was kind of over the top. Or how their antics sometimes take away, or where they only look after it out for themselves, as opposed to the promotion who work hard to make it happen.
Yeah.
The way I see it is, obviously, there's so many variations of wrestling where there's something for everybody. Whether it's lucha libre, deathmatch wrestling, technical wrestling, like World of Sports style, WWE style. There's so many different variations, and like there's something there for everybody. In this case, I see why a lot of, let's say, I won't define anyone by this, but I understand how a lot of people might see this as, oh, this is over the top.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it's still entertainment. Like, it shows the two teams as equal. So I personally can't understand it. Like for me, I don't mind it, but I understand why people might be a bit skeptical about it. All right.
Exactly. I totally agree. It's like, it's the thing, everything with wrestling, it's not going to please everyone, you know.
Of course.
And this is just one in a long line of stuff that has happened before and it's going to happen in the future. There are going to be talking points.
Of course,
you know.
There's so much to debate about wrestling right now. Like you know.
That is the glory of wrestling too, as well. That it invokes these debates and it starts these like.
It's human life to just debate about
like
stuff.
And it starts like for 9 times out of 10, it starts healthy debates and it gets conversation flowing. Now that 1 time out of 10, it will just get people pissed off and it will start fights and stuff, and they'll start resorting to, personal sort of antics, attacks. But they
either keyboards,
the keyboard warriors, of course.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, so I don't see the problem with it. Like, there's a very simple solution to this if you have a problem with it. You grab the remote and you change the channel.
Yeah. Or watch something you prefer.
If you don't like watching it, fine, change the channel. Okay? Because These guys aren't going to stop because you don't like it personally. These guys think this is what wrestling. This is the wrestling that they think works for them, and in 9 times out of 10, like I said, it does, because 9 times out of 10 people are going to like it.
And no one's going to stuff it down your throats either. Like
No.
Like any vegetarian.
No one. It's not like I'm holding your head there, Dave, and making you watch the. Watch the Young Bucks going in international where they end up all drop kicking each other and there's flips and everything in it.
Yeah, if I was vegetarian, you wouldn't force me to eat a piece of meat now, would you?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that.
But you know what I mean. Like, it's like if you're not into it, like, I won't force it upon you. Like, but it's
exactly.
You probably might this instead.
If you don't like something, you don't participate in it. If you don't like watching something, you don't watch something. It's
life, lads. It's life. Like, but everyone's different.
Get over it.
Now let's continue on our show now with our results of the week.
Oh my God! What the hell is going on? Oh my God!
Well, first of all, do a quick rundown on Celtic Championship Wrestling's Nutcracker, their last show of 2017 that was in St Finbarr's GAA Club over in Cork. None of us could be there to see it, unfortunately we couldn't make it. We're dying to go down next year for sure though, like, so, but...
Oh, it's sure we'll make 1 or 2 appearances.
Yeah. And we appreciate all the support.
Ladder War, they announced Ladder War, so I think we went last year to Ladder Wars. I think we should go this year.
I think so. Sounds like a plan. So thanks very much from everyone from Celtic Championship Wrestling for all their support, especially this year. So we'll definitely make the effort to go down at a couple of stages this year, or next year. But in the meantime, we'll just have a quick rundown of the results. The Women's Championship match between Raven Creed and Debbie Cattell went to a double count out. Apparently it was a very brutal match. Like I saw a photo of on Debbie's Instagram afterwards. Her chest was a beaten red from all the chops apparently. Like so, and they continued to go after each other after the match. Had to be separated by security. So goes to show you. In a triple threat tag team match, Flight Modes, the team of Matt Schuyler and Axel Jeffries, defeats the Spanish duo of A-Kid and Adam Chase and Rough Stuff. So implications maybe for a future tag team title shot for those guys. Ricky Combat took on El Ligero one-on-one, defeated them in a one-on-one match. The Armstrongs defeated the Establishments to become the CCW Tag Team Championships. Well done to them, because they're one of the best tag teams for me in the country this year. Like, they've been doing so well to promote themselves, and so all
the success of Total Armstrongs as well has been fantastic.
Yeah. So well done to you guys. Justy was in a couple of matches actually. He took on Kurt Simmons and Maxwell Del Larias, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't know the implications between each match. I think he took one person on, took the second person on, but he was involved. He beat them both there. Vic Viper defeated Billy Bedlam and the returning Xavier Burns to become the number 1 contender for the CCW Championship. Later on that evening, he defeated Danny Beast Butler to become the new CCW All-Star Champion. Justy and apparently Vic Viper's managers, I have a Jacob and a Morris, interfered in the match, allowing Vic Viper to pick up the victory. And the main events then, for the CCW Heavyweight title, it was Pastor William Ever who defeated Joey Felch to retain the CCW Heavyweight Championship. So it was a pretty cool event. As we mentioned, their next event will be Ladder Wars, which is happening in they have a couple. They're trying to get new venues now. Apparently, I didn't catch where the new one was in, but like apparently, like it's a much bigger one than last one.
Yeah, it's a little closer to the city centre. Yeah, it was a bit outside the city centre, the last one. So we'll see. They put a announcement video up of the Ladder Wars show.
Oh, did they?
Yes. They didn't give too many details about it, but it will be in a different location than where it was for last week. I'm not making any sense, so I'm going to stop talking now because I'm trying to figure out where they said here right now.
Well, while you do that, let's move on anyway, and we'll talk about WWE Clash of Champions.
Success in life comes when you simply refuse to give up. On a mission so strong that obstacles like failure and loss only act as motivation. I mean, like, no one has the power to shatter your dreams unless
Sometimes you look at the themes that WWE pick for their pay-per-views and you kind of raise your eyebrow a wee bit, but I have a soft spot for the Roots in this case.
The Commons Inn Hotel in Cork City.
Thank you very much.
17th of February. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. But anyway, I have a soft spot for the Roots in this case. I
liked it. I thought it worked well.
If it works, it works. Then we'll get on to it anyway. Clash of Champions, WWE's last pay-per-view of the year. Overall, it was one of these shows, WWE, especially their last few pay-per-views, it feels like their best matches were at the start of the show, and it's like its climax was almost the opposite of where it should be, where it peaks and then it goes down and it kind of maintains itself for the rest of the cards. If that makes sense.
I thought it was had a pretty constant level. It had a tiny spike now and again.
Its spike was at the start.
It kind of went down a little bit, and then it kind of evened itself out then for the rest of the show. I think it was a fun show. That's the word that comes to mind for pretty much a glorified SmackDown Live show. I kind of felt it was. I thought it was quite fun. I enjoyed it. There was only one part of it I didn't enjoy, and we'll get on to it later. But I didn't see a problem with it.
We'll get on to it anyway. The pre-show match first: Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder. Does Mojo has new music? Does it suit a heel Mojo? Because it still seems very positive. It does. It seems very high energetic even for a heel.
Yeah, I like it. I like the new Titantron. I like the new music. I don't like the ring gear. He's still wearing bright yellow. He's got to change the ring gear if he's going to be a heel.
If he wears black with yellow or something
even
like that.
Majority black with some yellow in there too.
That's
fine. Yeah, that's fine. But
Tammy his gear.
You're a heel, wear dark colours. Even a dark red or a navy blue or something like that.
Yeah, you're not Tony Nese.
Exactly. So you can't get away with the baby blues. You're not wearing the sunshine yellows, okay?
Your six pack isn't that good.
Hasn't got a six pack.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is Tony's got away with it because he was such a show off.
And whereas he put out and I was hyped for this new Mojo as well. Mm-hmm. He's finally making me hyped. After years and years of doing it, he got rid of the hype gimmick, and now I'm hyped.
Whereas now it's angry hype.
It's angry hype. Because he put I think he was in his own home gym at home, and he put out a great promo to Zack Ryder beforehand.
Oh yeah, what did he say?
Did you not see it?
No, I didn't know what he say.
Oh, it was really, really good. He started off by saying Zack, did you have a good time at Disneyland? Did you have a good time at Disneyland yesterday? Did you have a good time at Disneyland today? Because do you follow Zack Ryder on Instagram? He's known a lot for his Disneyland. He loves Disneyland. He goes there a lot.
I wonder where he was the whole time when he was in Dublin.
That's
straight to the Disney store.
He was talking about how you don't have the killer instinct. When he was making references, when you had your WrestleMania moment, you didn't have the killer instinct because you lost the title the very next night. That's not someone who has a killer instinct. Even when Maurice slapped your dad in the face, you didn't have the killer instinct, because if that was my father, I would have made sure that Maurice didn't have a husband to go home to.
Ooh.
He was just making so many great points like a proper heel should do.
Yeah.
And it was working. I'm liking this Mojo. If he keeps this up.
Bear in mind though, that's social media Mojo heel as a heel. We have to see this on TV.
Yeah. Well, even the video package beforehand.
Yeah.
He the points that he was making were good heel points as well.
Yeah.
Now the real difficulty about this, or the real challenge that will come to Mojo after this, is when this ends. Because it's easy to make all these points. It's easy to be this really, really good heel when you're breaking up a partnership that you've had for a while.
Yeah.
The challenge is the next feud after it, whoever that may be.
Yeah.
Can he still have that intensity? Can he still come up with these great promos?
Yeah, so in other words, it's a good start to where he is as a heel now, because he has every right to be heel over with Zack Ryder. Yeah. Can you maintain it with someone else? Mm-hmm. It remains to be seen. But in the meantime, as you said, I can disagree with you. He showed very good aggression in this match. They both went after each other in this match.
Yeah.
And with two broski boots, were Ryder covered for two. Where after Mojo made the ropes, Mojo then chop blocked to the knee and hit a running forearm to end the match. Again, perfectly solid match.
Loved how Zack Ryder sold that running forearm. He just fell like a sack of potatoes. Like he'd just been hit by a train.
Yeah, but it was a good match though, because it served a good purpose as well, like as you said. So again, this could be the mojo we all wanted now. So
Exactly.
so we'll see what happens there. On the main card, the triple threat match for the US title: Baron Corbin, Bobby Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. This was for me the best match of the night. I think. I think so.
Not for me personally, but yeah, I can see why.
Best technical match, certainly.
Yeah.
Like because triple threat matches are no easy feats.
Yeah.
And what I liked the most of it as well is not only how all three of them worked very hard in the match, but the home stretch was very well done as well, where Corbin almost thought he was going to steal it, and then Ziggler came out of nowhere and stole them and won the match.
Yeah.
So it worked for me, like, so, and it made sense, like, you know, why Ziggler came into the match, like, you know, like, because so many people were criticizing beforehand, where, you know, sometimes, like, especially looking at where Ziggler is now, because there's a lot of speculation if he's even will be in WWE now. Do you think this is like a final
I think
hurrah?
this is like a pity push, yeah.
A final hurrah, so to speak?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking at the time, like, when I was watching this match and how the results, I wonder if this is something to do, like, because he has, like, now we all know that he has a chip on his shoulder, especially on the back of his comments on the Edge and Christian podcast. Like, do you think this victory...
I didn't see those comments.
I heard about them. I didn't actually watch them, but I heard about them, and he said he does not like the position he's in at the moment at all. And and had this moments where I thought maybe he is always going to be trying to push, because he's one of these guys who, no matter how low he is, no matter how low he's been, how much he's not being pushed, he'll always stick around because it's his dream. So you know those sort of guys, they'll stay there. Their loyalty is never in question. Whereas apparently it's not the case now. But do you think now that victory was in response to that, like the way he became US champion? At the time, anyway.
I didn't see anything from this apart from, first of all, surprise.
Yeah. Because we both picked Roode for this match.
Yeah. No, I went with Corbin.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I went with Corbin in the end. It was so difficult. The only thing I think of is his contract's up soon, and I think this is just the last push, and I don't know, it could be just a way of them doing a United States Championship tournament to try and pick a new champion, and I think because there was rumours going around that they're going to pick a new belt, so it
I heard about that, yeah.
A total refresh of the United States title in general.
I think it's a good time to do it, actually, like, you know, but the fact is, will Ziggler still be around for it as well? If he goes out with this match, though, it's not a bad way to go out as well. Like,
no,
so.
It's not.
It ended with Roode catapulting Ziggler into the buckles, went for the glorious CDT. Corbin returned. Roode tossed him out, but Corbin pulled him to the floor. The choke breaker, which apparently is like his choke jam backbreaker, that's what he calls it, fall to the floor. Back in they went, and Ziggler countered at the end of days with a zigzag to pin Corbin for the win. Now, I bet this match is your favourite match, the four-way tag team match.
Yeah.
Usos, New Day, Benjamin and Gable, and Rusev and English.
Yeah.
The pre-match, though, was a highlight as well.
What the crowd. By the way, the crowd in general for this event was fantastic.
It was a
Boston
great
crowd are really good. Do you think
Rusev Day, like, Rusev is really getting over. Aiden English, to his credit as well, they're actually making a very solid tag
I would
team.
Never have thought these two would have been like the perfect tag team.
They're actually working. Again, it's one of these things where something out of nothing is working.
Exactly.
They're taking advantage of the opportunity. Like, credit where it's due to them.
The only thing I'm wary about is, which hopefully they don't do, like, they don't go the same way as Breezango. I know they're the comedy act at the moment, but they don't go to the Breezango level of comedy act where they can never actually legitimately put the title on them because they're not over enough. Well, they are over. Not that they're not over enough. It's just that, but they never pulled the trigger on them.
In this case, they don't need to go to that far because
see, I'm just hoping they learn from their mistake and that they won't go that. They won't do it.
Here's them doing this gimmick whilst challenging for the titles, as opposed to Breezango, who didn't.
Yeah, true.
So, but again,
I think either by the end of Royal Rumble, I'm hoping Rusev and English would have been or have just become the tag champs.
Do you think, though, with this gimmick that they could be over enough where they could turn face?
But they are face, though.
I
know they're not meant to.
They're all exactly.
They're tweeners. They are tweeners because they're
over heels.
Because they're not what they're meant to be.
They're over heels.
Exactly, they're not what they're meant to be. They're meant to be heels, but they're clearly not. They're faces. They're so over with the crowd.
I agree. Yeah. I liked Uso's remix of it as well, actually.
12 days. 12 days.
Yeah.
What's happens on day 1? Uso.
I forget how it
Or
went.
locked up. No, lock it down, wasn't it?
No, yeah. Now the reason I don't give this my match of the night is because I thought, especially to start, the way it was laid out was very confusing.
It was kind of confusing in terms of, it was a little messy at the start. I picked it as my match of the night solely for the pre-match and then how the finish was as well.
The finish was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, ends with Rusev locking in the Accolade and Big E, almost beat him to it.
The amount of near falls that he had, like, I kind of had a little tear in my eye because I knew WWE booking meant they were having so many near falls they weren't winning.
That's it, yeah. Then Gable came in and basically German suplexed the bejesus out of everybody.
Yeah, at one point he German suplexed Rusev onto Big E's ankle at one stage, and
really?
I thought it looked pretty bad. Now he's fine.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, he was fine in the end, but yeah, it didn't look great at that point.
Then what happened was after the German on Big E, Usos cut them off, super kicked him and top splash, gave him the top splash to Gable, like so. And again, it adds to another great match that Usos had this year, like, because they, again, for me, they're by far the best tag team in WWE at the moment, by a country shadow of a doubt, like, so a great match in general. Now, this is probably my least favourite match, the Women's Championship match between Charlotte and Natalya.
Oh, snap.
Now, is it because... Well, why do you not like it?
Because I hate the Lumberjacks stipulation. Absolutely hate it.
It's more...
It puts me out of a match already because it doesn't work. I said it on the show's Twitter page as well when I was reviewing it.
Yeah.
Lumberjack matches don't work unless you have the whole roster there. And when your whole roster is only 7 women... it's not going to work.
It's not only that, but it's just the focus of this match was on the Lumberjacks
instead of
way
the actual
more.
competitors,
Yeah, which is such a shame considering it's Natalya and Charlotte, who are arguably the 2 best workers in the SmackDown division. And the storyline gone into the match where here's Charlotte dedicating her victory when she originally won the title on SmackDown to Ric Flair. And here's Natalya being the hypocrite, like she is, saying, "Oh, you're only getting this because of your family name." She's
trying to.
So the story in itself,
but I think she's just trying to do that as the heel.
I know that.
She's just obviously they thought that would land because of the irony.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't.
Whatever the case, the story was good going to this match. The only reason they have all these Lumberjacks as the focus was because of the announcement the very next night over the Women's Rumble. Simple as that.
We'll get on to that announcement. I have some issues with that.
Okay.
But yeah, like, I don't like the stipulation. It doesn't work, especially when there's no one there pretty much to do it.
Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty of Lumberjacks.
There wasn't, though. And realistically, for a Lumberjack match, the ring should be surrounded. It wasn't. There was 3 in one corner, 3 in another corner, and then Naomi by herself in the other corner.
So it's confusing.
So no, it didn't work.
But what was the last time we saw a Lumberjack match where all the Lumberjacks had their entrances as well? Never.
No.
Never. That's why it was so weird.
Because Lumberjack matches shouldn't have that, because there should be loads of them, which there isn't. And then we had the Natalya speech at the end where she was kind of teasing. I hope it's her teasing.
Ashius.
I hope it's her teasing her retiring this gimmick that she has at the moment. Because once again, like I said, if you go back to the Twitter, the Kick Out Live, you'll see that, like I mentioned, that like she is, like you just mentioned, she is probably up there with Charlotte as probably the best wrestler, the best worker on SmackDown Live.
Yeah.
And her gimmick is just so bad that no one takes her seriously anymore, even though because of the talent she has.
It's more because she's such a hypocrite of herself, of what she's actually teasing of Charlotte. Like,
yeah, it's just she needs something else. There's something else there that she needs to have, a different gimmick, so that it will work, and she will actually get her over in terms of showcasing her wrestling skill itself instead of people just don't take her seriously anymore.
Yeah. Well, they obviously respect her as a worker, but the character is getting strange.
Like, I know, like, hardcore wrestling fans will respect her as a worker because they know that.
Yeah.
And other wrestlers will respect her because they know that. But, like, the casual wrestling fan are just saying, oh, this is just some silly, crazy cat lady.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, long story short, anyway, the match ended when Charlotte fought, made the ropes from the sharpshooter. It got into a big brawl then with all the Lumberjacks. No, Carmella almost teased cashing in her Money in the Bank as the ball continued to the floor, but Charlotte hit a moonsault onto the pile. Natalia then posted.
She tried to do it, but then Ruby Riott, I think it was, stopped her.
I think so.
Did you see the moment at one point when they were out of the ring? Charlotte was out of the ring, and all the Lumberjacks come to attack her.
What?
Liv Morgan then tries to jump in and attack while all the others are, but instead of actually hitting Charlotte, she ends up hitting Sarah Logan instead.
I did see that actually, yeah.
And then there was some Twitter beef going on with Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch as part of the storyline.
Okay.
And then she was like, every time you go into the ring and the crowd goes, oh, or something like that, it's embarrassing. And then Becky Lynch sent her a gif back of her attacking Sarah Logan, and she goes with the tagline, every time I see you wrestle in the ring, it's embarrassing.
Anyway, it was Natalia who posted Charlotte back in. Charlotte countered then the sharpshooter into the figure eights to make Natalia tap. It could have been a way better match. Like I felt that the Lumberjacks were too much of the focus. The Bludgeon Brothers against Breezango, straight squash. Like no more to say about that.
You built this for nearly a year. By the way, they built this for nearly a year for a 1 minute and 31 second match. Come on!
This is one of these situations where we talked about this before. This whole fashion police is just fought off every week. There's no long term talk.
Yeah, it's done on the fly.
Yeah, and it shows here. That being said, the potential the Bludgeon Brothers have as a tag team, I think, is huge.
Yeah,
because I think they could easily be the biggest badass tag team in all of WWE, next to probably Officer Pain.
They could, yeah.
Yeah, because they could really, if booked right, the way the booking so far is spot on. If they continue that way,
I didn't agree with the booking for this.
You thought Breezango should have won?
No. I didn't agree with them actually having the match in general, because they were never going to get the reaction that they wanted to from the WWE fan base because Breezango were so over.
But they're heels, so they can get away with it, though.
I know, yeah, they can, but I just felt that you could have put them against someone else.
Maybe
you could have made maybe do a build up because they're friends with the Ascension. You could have as Breezango are. You could have had the Bludgeon Brothers go take on the Ascension instead.
The strange thing is the Ascension against the Bludgeon Brothers actually seems like a more appealing match.
Yeah.
If you look, you know what I mean. That said, I look forward to more from the Bludgeon Brothers over the next while. Again, because they have huge potential as a tag team, possible challenges for the Usos later on. So. Now, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn against Orton and Nakamura. This match again, I felt it was similar to the Lumberjack match in the sense that the focus was too much on outside of the actual main wrestlers of the match. In this case, it was Shane and Daniel, where especially when it didn't seem more like they knew what they were doing at one stage. It's like they were almost like, okay, you take this side of the ring, you take this side of the ring, like being separating.
Well, that's what they did. They decided that okay, so. If it was on the side of Kevin and Sammy, then Daniel Bryan would do the count. If it was on the side of Nakamura and Orton, then Shane would do the count.
I just felt that the whole thing though it suffered the match big time.
Yeah,
because look at I think bar one spot on the outside, look at the wrestling that was done by the four men who all four of them.
I'd say three. Nakamura was very. How can I say? He wasn't involved in this match at all.
That's what I mean, though. There was very minimal effort from all four of the guys. I'm just saying, for those four wrestlers, of their capabilities, and having to do that less for a pay-per-view match, especially considering the significance of the storyline in it, and having it doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. The only way it actually makes sense is a build up to Daniel Bryan returning, but that's the way I see that. It's well down the line.
Well. That's one thing that I did like though, because Daniel Bryan, this was the one question I had coming into this match more than any, because everyone knew how the result was going to go.
Yeah.
The one question I had coming into this match was, would Daniel take a bump?
He took a bit of a...
And Daniel took a bump.
It wasn't really a bump.
He took a bump.
It was more of a push.
For WWE to allow him to do that, that's a bump.
Okay.
He took a push, he fell, he had his arms out just like you would taking a bump. He took a bump. So, is that the start of them sort of opening the doors for his return?
To my understanding, he's not coming back till not WrestleMania till SummerSlam.
SummerSlam is yeah.
Now, here's my worry about that. we both criticize WWE for maybe the way they book things.
The short-term booking.
Exactly.
And getting lost in their long-term
Exactly.
booking, yeah.
This, if they plan to have to go with Brian against whoever, even if it's against Shane at SummerSlam.
That's the rumor, yeah.
Yeah, they have to be so careful how they book it. Really, really careful, because
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think they have to be that careful when they book it. It's a very easy booking.
But but naturally, I'm skeptical because of their history with short-term booking as of late. Can you understand where I'm coming from? So that's why I'm like, oh, I hope they do it right. But like,
I think Daniel would have a lot more pull over how it's booked than, say, other competitors would when they're booking.
And that said, it's only a plan unless he's not cleared, or unless it gets the all go. Yeah, but like, this will have to double check everything up to that point, like, know yourself. So, but again, going back to the results, it ended with Orton posing, set up an RKO, connected. Orton covered, but Kevin Owens shoved Daniel Bryan into Shane to break the count. Shane yelled at him like a disapproving father. Jordan stalked Bryan and then hit Kevin with the RKO. More arguing, getting into a series of roll-ups where both refs counted for near falls. Sammy had a roll-up on Shane, but Shane stopped. Had a roll-up for the win, but Shane stopped counting. Bryan and Shane argued, pushed and shoved more. Then Sammy did a roll-up on Orton, and Bryan fast counted for the Sammy and Kevin win. So
yeah, it was a good finish.
It was a good finish, but again, I thought the focus was too much on the referees, in my opinion.
But that's what the whole. But what focus would you want it on, though?
Yeah, but I don't know. But
I think it was actually a well balanced match in terms of that. I think the focus on the referees was the reasoning whether or not Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn would have a job.
The only way it makes sense is for again the story with Daniel Bryan. But I just thought the match itself could have been better as a result of that. Like, I thought the referees' impact took away from that, in my opinion.
No, I don't.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I know.
Disagree with me, like.
I sort of do disagree. I think the match was fine. I'm a little more worried about the fact that Nakamura wasn't involved in the match.
Well, that's what I mean.
As much apart from taking the bump in the table. But I can understand that reasoning behind it as well, because he only came in at the last moment. There's no real reason for him to be involved in it, because he hasn't got this personal stake in it to the same extent as Orton had, or has Shane had.
Yeah.
So having those two sort of more at the forefront, having Orton involved in most of it, is what I agree with more. So that part, then I can agree in a certain aspect. I can see why you feel that way.
Yeah.
Especially because if it's a wrestling match, why should the referee be involved? But the fact that the two referees are the two guys in charge of the show, it kind of is going to naturally just going to progress. It's naturally going to look that way for how they've been building it for weeks upon end anyway. You know, if it was an Orton and Shane against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn with just a normal referee, then you could and then it was all on the referee, then I could understand why you'd be more pissed off. But the fact that Shane was the referee and the fact that Daniel was the referee, it was always going to the eyes were always going to go over there.
I see what you mean. I still feel it could be a better match. That's the way I'm saying, though. Main events then: AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal for the WWE title. This actually was a good match. I enjoyed this match.
It wasn't,
but mainly because
it wasn't the best match they've had. The Manchester match, I think.
I agree with you. Because it got a way better reaction.
But yeah, it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it.
And for the most part, it was
a Jinder paced match.
Well, it was still an AJ match as well. Like, AJ made it so much better.
A lot longer than I thought it would. I thought it did.
Yeah.
It was only 13 minutes.
Oh yeah, really? It
was only 13 minutes from bell to bell. It was only 13 minutes.
But you know, I have to admire AJ in particular for this, because the way he sold everything like it killed him in this match. Like,
I'd give credit to Jinder for how he sold.
He
sold his leg at the start, and then obviously that's how it came to
I'll give a lot of credit to Jinder, because like although I find his offense to be very limited, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He looks very solid all the same. So like, credit where it's due. Like, I think when you look at the way he's been booked, it actually does make a lot more sense to me. And the way he's portraying that, like, as perhaps the big man, a bit like, you know, he'd be like the bigger man in the SmackDown picture. Like, he has that size where he's an intimidate. You could see him as intimidating WWE champion for some.
I think this is the end though of the Jinder push.
Think so?
I think the way he lost and stuff like that, you cannot he cannot then come to anybody and make a realistic how can I say? You cannot make a realistic argument about why he should get another title shot now.
Well, WWE title shots. If this US title,
that's what I'm saying. Mid card, fine. Yeah, mid card, fine. But in terms of WWE title, no.
Who knows anyway. In the end, it was where the match ended where I think it was Mahal kicked out of the Colossus. And then Mahal teased giving him a Styles clash before Styles rolled into a calf crusher, eventually making him tap out in the centre of the ring.
Yeah. For a match that finished so cleanly, I was a little disappointed in the booking of the order of matches.
Do you think? Okay, now what do you mean by that? Now,
I felt that it should have been. It should have been the tag match to finish the show.
I don't disagree with you.
I think the visuals of seeing Daniel Bryan on the ramp with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn after the match, and seeing Shane McMahon sitting there in the ring with his head in his hands, and Randy Orton with his hand on his hips, all of them, pissed off, and you don't know what's happening. Did they turn? That visual would have been better to end the pay-per-view than just AJ standing in the middle of the ring.
I don't disagree with you, but I can't complain of the order they have at the moment. I just felt it was a nice balance to go from that to the title match, because the title match was a good finish as well. But I see what you mean.
Yeah.
One afterthought about this now. If Mahal's out of the picture now for WWE title, what's next for AJ?
I have no idea.
Because AJ could work with anybody, the way I could see it.
I have no idea who he's coming up against next.
Yeah, because this is going up to the Rumble now. Who it could be anybody.
I'm just trying to, even in my head, I'm trying to think. They wouldn't do Nakamura. I think they might save that for Mania.
They might. Well, if Nakamura is only in the background for this whole thing with Sami Zayn and Owens, and Randy Orton is the main guy with that.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised me if he was involved in that.
There's rumours that it could be Baron.
Why not? They worked well together in the past.
Can you make a valid argument for having Baron lose the US title and then have a WWE title match?
Especially when he lost clean as well.
Yeah, he was the one that got pinned as well.
Yeah. So he doesn't look strong going into the match. I see what you mean. I don't know, unless he shows an aggression or something like that after losing the title, which we did in a post-match interview.
Yeah, but he did it where his attention was directed to Dolph in wanting to get his title back. So I wouldn't say it could be him, but I don't know. It won't be Jinder again. It can't be Jinder again.
No, it shouldn't be.
Who could it be though? I'm trying to go through the SmackDown roster right now, and Kevin and Sami aren't going to go for it. Well, actually, no, they're not going to. Shane won't allow it. There's no way.
Yeah, but maybe Daniel creates the window of opportunity for it. No
way.
That would be interesting.
I don't know. We'll probably see some sort of fatal 4-way match next week to determine the number one contender, and we'll see maybe Randy, Shinsuke,
Owens and Sami.
I wouldn't think so. I'd say maybe
Bobby Roode,
Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode. Yeah, something like that. I wouldn't hate it if it was Randy Orton. I wouldn't hate it if it was Randy Orton.
Just make it Rusev Day in that fatal 4-way.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Although I feel he's been too linked with the New Day at the moment.
Oh no, he's in the tag team division. He's staying there.
So
yeah, I wouldn't hate if it's a match that you're looking for a Rumble, and if it looks like what it's going to be is a once off, because if my theory about how the Royal Rumble's going to pan out is correct, then this will be a once off match. I wouldn't hate Randy Orton doing it. Randy Orton, AJ Styles at the Rumble for the title.
Have they wrestled yet? Actually,
they have, and they had a really good match as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's up in the air the way I see it. So we can only speculate.
Yeah. I would say Randy, and it'd be a good chance for him to finally turn heel as well.
That's a solid argument as any. So I think we can go with that. So that's our review of Clash of Champions. When we return, we will continue our results, starting with WWE Raw right after this short break.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com. In the future, roving bands of comic book podcasts will savage the wasteland, once known as the Internet. One podcast, the Grawlix Podcast, may not be the biggest, may not be the funniest, may not be the most well-spoken. Wait, what was my point again? Oh yes, the Grawlix Podcast. Listen to it at grawlixpodcast.com. That's GRAWLIX podcast.com.
We're back here on 90.3 Near FM with the Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guides. Now let's continue on our results of the week with WWE Raw.
Welcome to Monday Night Raw.
It starts off with an opening segment where Kurt tries to address the situation between Kane and Strowman after they went to a double count out last week. Braun comes out saying that he was the last man standing, therefore he earns a shot. Kane then arrives saying that he's caused destruction for 20 years. No one can will step in front of Lesnar. Although he's impressed by Lesnar's list of victims, including The Undertaker, he's not impressed, and it does not include him. Therefore, he'll get his chance in the Rumble unless Braun is man enough to stop him. Paul Heyman then arrives, saying that the discussion won't take place without Lesnar. Out comes Brock, enters the ring. Angle looks confused. He then makes the match, or announces the match of the Triple Threats that'll happen at the Rumble. And then everyone, they just brawl each other until it ends up being Lesnar tossing Braun out of the ring, and then F5 and Kane. And Kane sits up. It sets up nicely. This is a match I think I like. This match going to the Rumble.
No, I won't be okay with it. Never will be.
Why is that?
Consider it was meant to be Finn's.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not going to be okay with this at all. I don't care if it's the best build-up in the world. No.
Because it was supposed to be Finn.
Yeah.
The way I see, the way I'm looking at Finn at the moment, actually.
Yeah, he's being wasted. He's being wasted.
Sir, at the moment, it seemed that way.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this, though. I know where you're going with this.
Wait, what am I going to say?
It rhymes with whiz.
What?
The person he'd be facing will rhyme with whiz.
Oh. WrestleMania.
Oh.
At the Rumble.
Yeah.
It's not a bad match.
For a title.
IC title. I'm okay with that. Look at the positives of it. I think let's put it this way. Look at the t-shirts that Finn Balor got out recently. The Forever Over t-shirt, which is a class t-shirt, by the way.
Yeah, it is actually. It's really nice.
WWE wouldn't be selling that for no reason. Think of it that way.
I told you at the start when he started doing all this stuff. It is Vince.
Yeah.
It is Vince doing all this stuff.
Yes.
I know it is.
So it's not.
Yeah.
So he's going to be there. He's going to be in the picture. It's just not now. Simple as that. So it takes patience. And I ranted about this before, but now thinking about it, I figure it makes more sense that if they push him merch wise, look at all the stars that have all the merch out at the moment. Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman, they're all in the picture of whatever their situation is.
Yeah. Finn
is in there, just not now, but he will be.
Yeah.
There's no way to waste them and be selling a t-shirt at the same time.
I know, I told you that, but I'm still not going to be okay with this at all. I'm not going to be okay with this build-up at all because it should have been Finn's opportunity. So, yeah, I'm going to abstain.
It's another opportunity in disguise now against Miz for the IC title, possibly. It's not a bad thing. I don't see it as a bad thing. Seth Rollins took on Jason Jordan. I think Seth was supposed to take on Joe. Rollins came in, or Jason Jordan came in saying that he wants Samoa Joe. He said he respects Rollins, but he'd have to wait till he's done with him first. Rollins says that he respects Jordan, but says this isn't Jordan's opportunity. But Joe arrives, said he feels like the belle of the ball.
Jordan is just really just like an annoying kid, isn't he? He's like this one that where you and your friends are going to be playing a match, and then this an annoying one, it just keeps coming in along the time, just saying, I want to be in it too. I like your annoying little brother.
That's a good analogy, actually, Daragh. Where you're playing football, your friends is annoying,
and then it's like your annoying little brother. Yeah.
Oh, can I describe?
I want to play too. Mom said I had to play with you, or in this case, Dad said I had to play with you.
I could go in depth of how detailed I can with your analogy from my past. Whereas maybe my brother playing with his friends for football, and then each of a man came in and ruined everything.
Yeah.
So, and we never saw him the same way as results. But he said they have a problem. He has a solution. Face each other. The winner gets him. Rollins says they already have a match, but then tells Jordan to go look for his daddy's approval. Jordan then shoves Rollins, and the match starts between them. It ends with where they go back and forth. Jordan kind of just says sunset flip for 2, ripcord knee by Rollins. That's the match. But post match, then Joe and Rollins brawl. Joe lays him out and then attacks Jordan on the way out. And so Later meets up, and Rollins then meets up with Angle and wants Joe again, and he ends up making the 6-man tag later on between Sheamus, Cesaro and Joe, and Rollins, Ambrose and Jordan. Now back to Finn Balor. He was in a handicap match originally with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. It ended with Joe making a comeback until they started attacking each other, until Dallas cut off the double stomp and led to the two of them get disqualified. It makes Finn look weak, but it makes sense for the debut of Atami. That makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially because they're close friends. Like, they both debut. Like, it's almost coming full circle now, because Balor debuted in NXT as a friend of Atami.
Yeah.
It's the opposite way around now. This time Atami's debuting in the main roster for Balor. So it's going full circle.
I think, a nice full circle though would be them to have a feud against each other. Now, it won't happen because he's on 205 Live, and this was just a pretty...
Well, can you make exceptions to that? You wonder for Tammy?
I don't know.
They should.
They can't, because...
although you'd think the focus for Tammy would be for the Cruiserweight title. They can't,
because they have to establish the Tammy in the 205 Live division before they even think about doing anything.
Which makes more sense.
Yeah.
So have him... Imagine a match between him and Cedric Alexander if he wins the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, it'd be a good match.
That'd be cool. Even him and Enzo would be interesting as well, just for different reasons, but it'll be interesting as well. The tag match then, it was a good match. It ended with Atami basically destroying everyone. Balor dumped Stassi outside, and then Atami hits his GTS for the win. Then speaking of the Cruiserweights,
they went for the GTS straight away. Straight away. No dilly dallying this time. No.
Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak, the final contender match then to decide Enzo Amore's challenger. Where was it? It ended with Enzo leaving commentary, where he got a call. Seems like he was distracted by Nia Jax again.
Yeah.
Gulak was distracted by this, and then Alexander hit insecurity, back elbow followed, then the springboard clothesline, then the lumbar check. Solid match.
Yeah.
And the only thing is though, again, like, it was a good. Again, it was a solid match. I can't complain about it whatsoever. Like, the crowd probably have a different reaction to it, but from TV standings, it was a good match from what I could say. We got more of a perspective now. It seems like Enzo's responding now to Nia Jax. You know, do you think they'll team up for the mixed match thing?
No, because she sent out videos. He's not doing it.
He's not doing it at all?
No, he's not doing it at all. Oh no, he is. You're right, he is. I don't think that's for the mixed chats, because she put up videos of like her wanting to be with Braun.
A lot of people said different things, like, you know, like Becky Lynch said Sami Zayn, Finn Balor said Bayley, Charlotte said Bobby Roode,
Goldust and Asuka. How good would that be?
They're presenting Asuka.
So will she join them?
No, then was selling his arm. Michael attention. Sheamus, Cesaro, and Joe were then attacked Ambrose and Rollins, and then they trapped Ambrose's arm and did further damage. And so it'll be interesting to see now. It could serve as a good hook now to bring Reigns back, but at the same time, Ambrose is going to be gone now.
He was strangely absent from the show this week.
Yeah. Do you have the mumps again or something?
I don't know. Was JoJo there?
Bray
wasn't. I know that.
Bray wasn't.
Oh, are we getting into something here?
He technically was, but he wasn't. We wasn't seen live.
No.
Speaking of Bray, the segment of Woken Mats playing chess with a fish possessed with
this
the
is what I wanted to see.
Yes,
this is what I wanted to see. When he was going with the giraffe, he used to be George Washington and stuff, and like now all he's doing is mispronouncing names of wrestlers, and then that's it. That is Woken Matt Hardy.
Wait. Did he call Bray something? Or
no, he didn't. No, that's what I'm saying. That's just what's missing. That's the final piece.
Well, listen, that's fine. He doesn't have to do it to everybody.
You know? Like the Books of Youth, you know, the way he would go on like that all the time.
What would he call Sister Abigail or Bray Wyatt, though?
See, that's the problem.
That's the fine. It isn't for everybody, but the fact that he's playing he's playing chess with a fish possessed with the essence of Napoleon, that works for me still.
Yeah, the man that eats all the worlds, or something like that, you know.
Against playing chess with the man with the fish that eats all the bits.
Yeah.
So the map was then talking about the WWE Battleground, relating it to a game of chess. He says he'll be playing the game since the beginning of existence, and he promises deletion. Yeah. I love the segments though. Yeah. Like, I actually look forward to I presume they'll have a match at the Rumble, but like it's working so far, like the way things are going. The returning Revival took on Slater and Ryan. I'm delighted to see the Revival back. It was a quick enough match though. They double teamed slash Dash and Slider collides to a double down. Rhino was then taken down, and then Slater hits a Shatter Machine for the loss. Post-match, then Angle tells Slater and Rhino to toughen up if they want more opportunities. Slater fears being fired, but Rhino has a plan. So, where do you think that'll go?
Heel.
Maybe.
Heel.
It'd be interesting to see how this side of it seems like Heath Slater is too soft to go heel, if that makes sense.
But if you compare him to his other 3 MB members, like look at Jinder Mahal.
Well, he was incredibly obnoxious as opposed to a heel, so it's a different type of heel.
Yeah.
Then the Elias segments where he was singing about a song inspired by Tom Brady until all the members of the tag team match came out interrupting him. The tag team match itself: Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville against Mickey James, Sasha Banks,
Just
and Bayley.
Before you get into it, did you see the way he avoided taking the hug from Bayley?
Yeah,
like the little move away. Brilliant.
Yeah, worked.
Yeah,
and disappointment on her face. The match was just that match was just set up for the announcements, which followed. Simple as that.
Yeah. And
the big announcement was Stephanie McMahon came out talking about the women's revolution, praised the women of WWE who inspired little girls and the passion. They talked about all the significant stuff like the Hell in a Cell matches, the Money in the Bank matches, Sasha and Alexa Bliss wrestling in Abu Dhabi, and announced that they'll make history again, announced the first ever women's rumble to a great reaction.
Yeah.
There's one. No, you said you have a problem with this now, so
I love the announcement.
Right.
Women's Royal Rumble. Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hated the announcement, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean by that?
Loved the actual announcement. Hated how they did it.
Yes, I agree with you.
They did it outside of storyline, which you just had 6 of these girls beat the hell out of each other in a match. And now you have them all standing in a ring together, being civil with each other.
And they're giving themselves DMC hugs and stuff
giving
like
themselves hugs, doing the yes chant and everything like this.
And raising your hands together.
Why couldn't have you made this announcement in storyline?
It makes more sense. I agree with you 100%.
NXT did a fantastic way of announcing War Games when they had these guys coming after each other and beating the hell out of each other, and William Regal was like, this is the only thing that will keep everything in line, blah blah blah. Why couldn't they have done some sort of like number 1 contenders match for Alexa Bliss's title, and they keep having them trying to have the matches, but either Absolution or the other women keep interfering and stuff, and then causes Stephanie to come out and just say, right, you girls just cannot decide who's going to be number 1 contender at the Royal Rumble, so I'm going to decide that there's going to be the first ever women's Royal Rumble, and it won't just be used, it'll be Smackdown involved too, and they're going to have their chance to be number 1 contender at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Simple booking that gets the storyline over, gets the crowd involved.
But in this case it broke kayfabe and
it did it so badly.
Destroyed it
so badly.
It's such a shame for such an announcement as well, because it's a huge announcement.
Even if you wanted to just have Stephanie make the announcement, if you wanted her to feed her ego to be the one in the middle of the ring to make the announcement so she could be the best one ever.
If that's the way it was done, that's even worse. But it really is.
You could have done that and you didn't have to have her in the ring. You didn't, or not her in the ring. You didn't have to have all the women of the division in the ring.
I'm with you.
You didn't.
I'm with you 100% in this. I disagree of how it was announced. It could have been on the stage where she announced this as opposed to the ring.
You could have just had her in the ring by herself.
No.
You could have had no one else.
No, all around the ring where they're attacking each other. They all gaze is set from the stage, and she makes the announcement there. But no,
they could have had some silly thing with Angle announcing the matches for tonight, and then have Stephanie interrupt and then kick him out of the ring if she wanted to assert her dominance.
To be fair, we're in an era now where that sort of stuff is forgivable. If this was 20 years ago, they'd be crucified for
I don't think it's forgivable. I don't think it should be forgivable.
In what case? Why is that?
I don't think this should be forgivable at all.
I agree. I agree. It's not a good thing. And I'm just saying, if this was a few years ago, it would be much worse.
I don't feel that they should be able to just break kayfabe like that.
I don't like it either. I don't like it as much as you do, but we're in an era where they get away with it way more than now. Like stuff that Shawn Michaels would get crucified for back in the day, like is done this way. I agree with you on that.
Well, and the ways that Shawn Michaels did it though, it was kind of subtle. This was not subtle.
Well, it wasn't subtle when Shawn Michaels did it.
It was a lot more subtle than this.
But it was still, we never saw it coming. In this case, we do see it coming. That's the problem. Listen, I agree that it shouldn't, that they should have done it differently. But let's not take away from the announcement in itself as well. So it is a huge announcement. It is.
I can't wait.
Do you agree that it's the best time for Women's Rumble?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it is, because you're having it's been the year, maybe 2 years of firsts in terms of women's wrestling in WWE.
Yeah.
So keep it going, keep it on the bandwagon. First Money in the Bank, first Hell in a Cell, now the first Royal Rumble.
But we can agree that the way it was announced was not the best.
It's god awful, and it shouldn't. I know you're saying it is forgivable nowadays, but I don't agree it should be forgivable.
I'm with you. If it was 20 years ago, they probably wouldn't do it again. They'd be crucified for whoever's idea it was.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Notes to SmackDown.
On to the Rock Show, to the premier show, SmackDown.
It started with the segments between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. Daniel Bryan, you wouldn't even think he committed what he did on Clash of Champions. The crowd still love him. He just discussed everything. He discussed the main events. It was between AJ, Randy, and Shinsuke Nakamura against Jinder Mahal, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, and also discussed talked about the Rumble announcement the night before. Shane then comes out and asks, and they start talking about the Clash of Champions. He asked, okay, I was about to count to 3, but Bryan tripped on and broke the count. Bryan said it was an accident. Shane says he knows that now. He then admits he stopped pinning the count and said he did it for revenge against Sami and Kevin, and his emotions got the better of him. He then brings up Bryan's fast count, leading to Sami and Kevin still being on SmackDown, and he wants an explanation. Bryan said he did what he did to protect Shane from himself. He gets "thank you Daniel" chants from even off from the crowd. You get the sense that Shane is turning a bit heelish from all this, don't you? As opposed to Daniel.
Yeah.
Shane said he didn't need his protection, but Bryan disagreed. Bryan said Shane's passion can get the best of him, and he was protecting their idea. Their SmackDown, the land of opportunity for everyone. Shane said he understood, but warned Bryan that Kevin and Sami will stab them in the back. Bryan said that he has fought against the business in the past, and if Shane wants to fire anyone, he should just fire him, concluding that he does not want Shane to turn into Mr. McMahon.
Yeah.
Shane then he said he trusts.
I did like that line.
That's a nice line.
I really.
That's a nice touch. Yeah. So solid sequence with that. It prolongs it now. This is what I'd like to see going into the idea of Daniel Bryan going back to the ring with this sort of situation. So I'm all for it the way it's going. Now, the non-title match between the Usos and Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable, it pretty much left off from the night before. Great match in my book.
Yeah.
Benjamin and Gable are very capable challengers. You can see now that it's not just the Usos carrying the division. There's some very good teams in there who are giving them back just as much as they're receiving as well.
Yeah.
It ended with Gable countering the splash with knees to a cradle with 2 after a Chaos Fury. That's his O'Connor roll into a German suplex.
Mm-hmm.
A Doomsday Powerbomb connected for the win in the non-title match. And I know it gives more momentum to Gable and Benjamin now, which I think makes more sense long term for the division. So
because they're going to have to be the top heels of SmackDown now.
That's it. Yeah. The Charlotte's came in discussing talking about the whole Rumble thing and saying she's thanked all the fans for giving the women the opportunity, and said whoever wins that Rumble should be waiting for him at WrestleMania. Naomi arrived, offered congratulations to Charlotte, and entered herself into the Women's Rumble, saying she'll be waiting for the Queen at Mania. Naomi then run down and says they won't be at. The Riot Squad then arrive. Naomi runs them down, saying that they won't be in the Rumble because it's all about for themselves. Naomi then challenged them to a tag team match there and then. Mm-hmm. It ended with Logan hits hit with a headbutt, but Naomi takes down Morgan and hits the rear view for the win. The only thing about this match, although it was a good match, is a bad time to see the Riot Squad losing now.
Yeah.
It's a bit too soon.
It's their first match and they lost.
It's not their first match.
It is their first match, isn't it?
No. They've had a few matches over the last few weeks.
Oh, they had. Yeah, sorry.
But
they were all disqualification finishes and stuff, weren't they?
Yeah.
One of them was a win. One of them was a win.
But it's still too soon for them to lose. I think they're supposed to be establishing dominance, and it's probably.
I think you can see the differences in booking between them and Raw's 3-woman team as well. So.
Yeah. Not only too soon, but too easily as well.
Yeah. They're being put as they're more the jobbers now. It looks like that in comparison to Raw's. Raw's are like top women.
Yeah.
In SmackDown, they're like jobbers. Unfortunately,
that's a difference now between them. We've talked about the differences and similarities between Absolution and the Riot Squad. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about we'll talk about Dolph Ziggler's US title celebration.
Yeah, it's the baddest. Or not the baddest. It's the most low key celebration you can probably get.
Well, he said that he reminded everyone about his credentials before being US champion, how he's one of the most decorated stars in wrestling, produced every night, but he still feels he goes underappreciated. He then tells the crowd that they are unworthy of him and they don't deserve him. He then says he'll give them something to remember him by, drops the belt and leaves.
Yeah.
So what does this mean? The
end
of
him walking out on it?
Could be.
We'll have to see next week. I was kind of half expecting maybe Baron Corbin would come through the crowd, pick up it, and then run away with it.
Here's the thing with him. Do you feel that even if they try to push Dolph Ziggler, if it still feels forced, no matter what they do? That's what...
I don't know.
See, because you say you don't know... Because he's still gloating, he's still the douchebag sort of heel.
Yeah.
You know, he still feels he's beyond everybody. He's like, I don't like... It's not because he's a bad heel. It's just that no one cares. It doesn't feel like no one cares. Yeah, and it's such a shame because he is exceptionally talented. Like,
he needs to get out. That's all.
Yeah,
just needs to get out.
Could be the best move for him, really.
Best thing, I think he would excel in Japan. I think he'd be brilliant.
Ring of Honor, even anywhere he goes, really, no matter where he goes, even if he does like indie tours all over the world, we'll have to. But then again, we don't even know if he can do that. We'll have to wait and see. You'd like to think he would. You think someone coming from WWE would be okay with all the traveling? Like, remember we were talking earlier on about people them getting used to guys who can travel.
Yeah.
I think if it was the opposite way around, going to the indies, they'd be just as good. They'd be better travelers, in fact. That makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. The New Day took on Rusev and Aiden English in a bit of a comic match. They're all in costume for that.
Yeah. It was like how they have a comic match at Halloween and stuff. It was because SmackDown, obviously the next show is after Christmas, so this is their Christmas show. Yeah. It ends with Rusev and English putting the pancakes and whipped cream together, then Rusev topping it off with cherries. They grab Woods until he fights as Kofi takes down out Rusev, then out English went face first into the pancakes. Back in, Woods hits the big elbow drop. That's a very impressive. That's an awesome elbow drop the way he does that, by the way. A coast to coast elbow drop. Yeah. So it was a funny match. Like, more Rusev Day stuff. So like, I love that gimmick at the moment. So works for me. The main events then: AJ, Orton, and Nakamura against Jinder Mahal, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. A rematch from the Tribute to the Troops, actually. Apparently, was it? Yeah, okay. That was I didn't watch that. Neither did I. Apparently, ended with Kevin making the save with the senton. Breaks down and the Sings attack Nakamura. The ref saw it, disqualifies him from the match. RKO to Mahal. Then a drooping DDT to both Sings. Styles takeouts Kevin with the big forearm. Nakamura hits Sami with the Kinshasa for the win. Simple as that. It was a good main event. Close the show. Simple as that. Much more to say regarding that. Now, very quickly, we'll just talk about 205 Live and NXT. Kalisto and Gran Metalik took on Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher. It ended with Kalisto running wild to silence. Essentially, hit a short ran on Gallagher, followed by a dragon roll. Caesar also followed, but Kendrick made the save, leading to another disqualification loss to get themselves disqualified. See what happened to Kalisto after the match? What happens? There's a video there. A fan threw a water bottle at his face while he was on the ground outside the ring. Oh, you're joking? Yeah. Didn't spot that at the time. They posted Kalisto and then they crushed Gran Metalik's knee then with the ring post as well. Hideo Itami made his 205 Live debut, taking on Colin Delaney, who came back again. Is he going to be like the next James Ellsworth now? Possibly. Like he looks more like a wrestler than James Ellsworth. It's like that's. It's like you like to think, and I say as well disrespect for James Ellsworth because I was a fan of his work. Colin Delaney was like where he was is like James Ellsworth is now. Yeah.
That's we could see James Ellsworth 2.0 later on. He comes back. he comes back with a pepper haircut.
Builds up a few some muscle. Yeah.
And he gets a chin implant, and that's everything. So, it ended with it was a simple squash match. Not more to be said. Then Cedric Alexander took on Drew Gulak in a rematch from Raw. Ended with Alexander. He sent Gulak to the apron, then pulled him on top. But Gulak fights him off and sent him to the mats. Gulak is afraid to come off the top ropes, and then Alexander smacks him up and hits the lumbar check for the win. Again, it was a very good match. They work very hard, and it's a good match. I like the matches that Gulak and Alexander have, so they work well together. Enzo then tried to talk trash to Alexander in the ring. Daivari tried to attack him from behind, but he a lumbar check as well. Now NXT, a huge NXT show happens this week. Sanity took on Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Tag Team titles. It ended with Dean getting posted by Adam Cole. Eric Young would hit O'Reilly with a powerbomb, but Adam Cole then crotched Eric Young when he went on top. O'Reilly hit Axe first match for 2. Then Nikki Cross attacked Cole. That was actually funny when that happens. The ref saves Cole, took her away. And then Eric Young had a suicide dive back in. Total elimination, finished the match. New champions. So it's good. I think Fish and O'Reilly will make great champions. It's the right move, I think. Putting the titles on them.
I would have liked to see it on Sandy for a little longer.
I agree, but I think it's the right move to have them as champions at the same time. Yeah,
a good strong heel champion, I guess.
Yeah. The Lars Sullivan took on Roderick Strong to decide the last contender for the Fatal 4-Way next week. To decide the next number 1 contender. It ended with Lars getting mowed down by a lariat, but Strong managed to get an angle slam for 2. The knee strike followed, but Lars hit up the pop-up power slam, finished off with his freak accident. Good match. It showed Lars Sullivan against someone who's who will fight back.
Yeah, they had to keep him strong.
Yeah,
you got to keep Roderick strong. Still make him look strong despite the fact that he was going to lose.
Plus, it showed how good Strong is at fighting from the bottom and selling, and how good of a seller he is as well. So it's brand new points for him on that as well.
Well, it was never in doubt. He was always that good anyway. It was just whether to see how Lars Sullivan would go with it. And I think he did pretty well.
Very well, in my opinion. And then the main event, Pete Dunne against Tyler Bates 3 for the WWE UK title. What a fantastic match.
Great match. Fantastic.
As good as any match. It's up there with all the other 2 matches this year. And that's another fine trilogy this year.
The crowd were just not in it, though. At all.
Really?
Yeah, did you not notice that?
Not so much, no.
I didn't think the crowd...
I was so enthralled by the match that I actually didn't pay attention.
Yeah, the crowd just weren't into the match at all. I don't know why, because it was a fantastic match and deserved to be more over than it was.
It's up there with this year for me. When you look back at all the wrestling that's happened this year is the year of the trilogy. And Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate is one of them ones. You have Okada Omega, you have Naito Tanahashi, you have Ishii Omega. Bate versus Dunne is up there.
Yeah, they've had some really good matches. 3 top matches of probably of their career so far.
And it was probably their longest match as well.
It was given a lot of time, but I do remember Takeover was given a lot of time as well, though.
Yeah, that was a 14-minute, 13-minute match or something like that. As good as it was, but a tremendous home stretch. They worked it very slowly. It was an ideal match. It really was, and a lovely end addition to the rivalry. So it was an awesome match in my view. So I hope to more for that. Because it'll be interesting to see who will be against Pete Dunne in future. Unless it's a Wolfgang or Trent Seven or something like that.
Wolfgang or Trent, maybe not Trent Seven. They seem to be sticking with the same 4 or 5. I think if they branch it out a little more and give the other guys who are involved in the UK Championship, maybe give them a chance.
Why not?
There is a certain guy from Bray, County Wicklow, Ireland there that has a nice package pile driver there and who'd be delighted to give to Pete Dunne.
Yeah, he'll go exports to be the import killer.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be the exports being the import killer. It makes more sense. Goes to show you. Now let's continue on our shows now with our previews of the week.
Look at what we have here, folks.
We just have one preview to bring up this week, which is PWU Pro Wrestling Ulster, who'll be doing their end year show, the New Year's Blitz, that will be happening at on New Year's Eve, December 31st, at the S13 in Belfast. There's still tickets available on tickettailor.com. Only 3 matches announced so far. Katie Harvey will be defending her PW Women's title against Lauren LaRue. They had a bit of a falling out in the last show where Kevin Nash was their guest commissioner.
Yeah.
And now where they were like Lauren LaRue was being like the servant of the Queen's Court, if that makes sense. And now they've come full circle now, and it'll be LaRue challenging Harvey for the title.
Okay.
Just announced in the last few a couple of days ago, Phil the Trill Boyd will be defending his All Ulster title in a triple threat match against ICW favourite Lionhearts and Michael May. So that's a very interesting match indeed. Also, a 20-man blitz match, which is like a battle royal, will be there to decide the challenger for the PW heavyweight title for their Junction 7 Ready to Go show next year. Tucker, Dick Templeton, LJ Cleary, Nathan Martin, Justy, Wreck-It Rogers, Tim Steed, the Rocky Star Experience, and Valkyrie are all set to appear on the show as well. So it's a good up-and-coming show, it's a good way to end the wrestling, certainly up in PW as well. So it's like the final overall show of the year, so something to see there. Now, before we get to our announcement about the kickies, we'll get to our after I spilled my coffee all over. I don't even know what I did there. Where is the cup? There it is. That's so going in the bloopers. That's so going in the bloopers. You know, it's okay. I'm actually okay with that.
Whoa! Oh, you destroyed it?
No, I'm putting this in. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue on with our yes no's.
Yes, no! Yes, no! Yes, no!
Oh, the hack of me. Anyway, there's a good few this week. Actually, it's about 8 overall this week, so we'll get to them now. Here's an interesting one, not actually wrestling related. Floyd Mayweather to fight with UFC. There's a few rumours going around with that.
Yes, because he'll probably get his head bashed in.
Why would he want to go to UFC anyway?
Money.
Yeah, but
money.
Yeah, but he wouldn't go. Would he fight on boxing rules or MMA rules?
It would have to be MMA rules. It's UFC.
I feel the worst for him if he actually went in there. I really would.
He'll get his head he'll get taken down to the ground and get his head boxed in.
Vince McMahon to revive XFL.
For the sake of his own wallet, I'd say no.
Yeah, I mean, could he afford it?
I'm sure he could, but I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot barge pole.
That'd be fun. There's rumours going around, but I wish that's not the case.
No.
Randy Orton to go part-time next year. After you're finished shining.
I'm very sorry about this. Very unprofessional.
No, we're even now.
Yes. Yeah, he's got a young family and stuff, and he's getting on, and his body's probably pretty beat up at this stage. So yeah, take a part-time schedule next year.
Or at least next year. Like he'll probably be fine after next year, but just a little slow him down and get him back repairing.
He's taking a bit of time off in February and March. I heard. So, he'd come back then for WrestleMania, and then maybe after WrestleMania, look at taking a part-time schedule.
That makes a lot of sense to me anyway. Dolph Ziggler to leave WWE.
For his sake, yes.
Do you think the thing is though, Dolph Ziggler, even though you get the sense he actually doesn't like the situation he's in, he seems like that type of guy who will just get on with it regardless. He's that type of person. I think I got that sense with him that like no matter.
I don't think so. I think he might have been beforehand, but I think it's the last straw with him, and it's pretty much gone.
Whatever the case, I can't see it until I believe it though.
Yeah.
You know,
convenience-wise, I could see him staying in WWE because he gets to stay in America.
Maybe
going to Japan, you know, that's a whole like living in Japan then for the time. And he is like 36; he's not young, so I could see why he might just say, "Well, I've been here this long, I might as well keep going." But if he's going to do that, then he can't go around bitching and moaning. He can't. Because if he's making the decision to stay there when he has the chance to go and further his career somewhere else and he chose not to, he does not have the right to bitch him on about the position that isn't in WWE anymore.
Yeah, so I have to wait and see what happens. Now, obviously, the Women's Royal Rumble, huge announcement. Trish Stratus to return at the Women's Royal Rumble.
There will be a few surprises.
Do you think Trish will be one of them?
The Bellas will definitely be.
I'm not sure.
I think, both the Bellas will be in it.
Well, if they're in it, they'll be very brief. I don't
know how brief. I don't know what the rules are going to be. I'm guessing it's not going to be over the top rope. I guess it's going to be through the ropes.
Oh, we'll say. I say it would be.
So,
but maybe it would come.
I wouldn't be surprised. It depends on how many entrants. They didn't say. Is it going to be 20? Is it going to be 30?
They have enough for 30, I think. So it makes sense.
The rumours are that it might be 30, and which the numbers that they don't have from Raw and SmackDown, they get a few from NXT to make an appearance. They won't be called up. They'll just be making an appearance.
Yeah, similar to Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, and they go back to NXT, and then a few surprises. So, yeah.
You see Trish being one of them, though?
Trish could possibly be one of them, yeah. She was meant to make an appearance last year, but then of course she ended up becoming pregnant. So she was meant to be fighting Asuka, wasn't it?
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, instead of when Mickie James came back.
Oh really? That was supposed to be Trish?
That was supposed to be Trish.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Goldberg and the Dudleys to be inducted in next year's Hall of Fame.
I hope so.
I can't see why not.
I hope so, yeah.
There was recent rumours of the new list of people.
The list, the rumours of the list always come down around this time, and 9 times out of 10 they're just the popular votes. It's not the ones that will actually happen. I don't know. So we'll see. I would make sense because Goldberg, if you compare it to say Sting had his WrestleMania last year, or not last year, but
year before.
The year he had his WrestleMania. Then the very next year he had his Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah.
So if you look at it like that, is where Goldberg had his last WrestleMania, just this past April. This coming April, he'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Would make sense.
Dudley's make sense to me as well.
Dudley's do make sense.
The other people who were rumoured were Ivory.
I'm surprised she's not already in it.
Yeah, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
And Kid Rock, believe it or not.
Yeah, they have to have an actor one, I think they put in now and again. Schwarzenegger's in it as well and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Kid Rock has contributed to a lot of songs for some wrestlers, especially The Undertaker.
Then Fred Durst should be in it as well, shouldn't he?
Maybe.
And Creed.
Oh dear. WWE main roster stars to move down to NXT next year.
I don't see it happening.
Now the reason
the NXT roster's already stacked. They don't need to be cluttered by that stuff.
The reason they bring it up is because they've done it before, but the reason they bring it up is because Triple H is considered the idea of it for you.
He mentioned it.
The trouble is, who would be? Who would they do? Who would need to go down?
Apollo.
Dana Brooke. How about all three of them, including Titus O'Neil?
Yeah, I know, because he's trying to set up another Titus brand and stuff.
Yeah, and it could work if they have someone else from NXT.
You go into the problems with WWE booking, that this Titus brand thing is just falling by the wayside, and I don't even know if Tozawa's still in it or not.
No, he hasn't been in weeks. So where is Tozawa? I haven't seen him in weeks actually.
I haven't seen him in a while now.
Yeah. And finally, Eddie Edwards to come to WWE.
First I've heard of it.
Yeah, there's rumours that they're looking that obviously we know Rockstar Spuds who will be coming to WWE. We heard
he was spotted at SmackDown last week.
Yeah, he's not going to come till next year apparently. But there's also Edwards now. They're very interested in getting Eddie Edwards now.
Okay, interesting. I wouldn't see him being anything but a mid-carder though.
Yeah, was that a bad thing as when he came from as a world champion or former world champion from them from Impact?
Because he'll just be caught in the shuffle. If he wants to make the big bucks, fine, let him.
Yeah, even NXT or something like that. So see if he gets on there.
Mid card, I think he'd be like a Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong, let's be honest, is a mid carder. And I would worry for Roderick Strong if he ever got called up.
Oh really? Well, it's too early to say.
He'd be in the 205 Live, definitely. Definitely 205 Live.
We'll see what happens. Well, it's early to say. I can't imagine him being gone to main roster for at least 2 years. At least 2 years. 2019.
Even if it was, he wouldn't even be on the main roster.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we finish up, we're going to just make a quick announcement, and it's regarding our annual TKO Kickies. You may notice on our Facebook page that we said are coming soon, so it is coming, and we're just here to announce that they are indeed coming up. We're here just to announce the first of all the awards that will be taking place overall for the awards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't lost count on how many Irish awards, but it's a lot. It's a lot overall. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 Irish awards overall. and that's just the Irish awards, since it's not even including like the world awards as well. So, so you have the awards there as well. So, should we tell them what awards are up overall?
Yes. Well, we'll give out the Irish ones.
The Irish awards.
We'll
for
give
the
out
start,
the Irish ones.
not the nominations, just the actual awards. So
so we have the Fergal Devitt Award for Irish Male of the Year. The Rebecca Quinn Award for Irish Female of the Year. The Apollo 55 Award for Irish Tag Team of the Year. The Contender Award for Irish Prospect. The Jerry Humperdinck Award for Irish Personality of 2017.
Dedicated to Jerry.
The Package Pile Driver Award for the Irish Import of 2017. That's my favourite award.
Only makes sense.
That's my favourite one. The Pack Your Bag of Cans Award for the Irish Export of 2017. The Irish Rivalry of 2017. The Irish Storyline of 2017. The Irish Podcast / YouTube channel of 2017. The Irish Wrestling's Moment of 2017. And finally, the Fight Forever Award for Irish Match of 2017. So
we have plenty of awards there. We're going to announce the nominations. We're first of all going to explain the rules on our Facebook page, so make sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/KickoutWrestling. We will announce the rules shortly after we release this podcast.
Yeah, we're going general election style.
Indeed, so they're very interesting rules, but we think it's very fair the way we're doing the awards. It's a bit different from what we did last year.
First preference.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit different from how we did it last year, but we figured we'd do it this way because it spreads it out a bit more. It makes it more compelling, we thought. And we're also leaving the option up to you guys as well. There's some nominations. We're going to announce nominations in due time. If there's any you disagree with, you can add one of your own. That's a bit of a catch to that one as well. But we also have the World Awards. We will announce them as part of the rest of the awards as we go along. But in the meantime, that's all the time we have for this week on the Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guides here on 90.3 Near FM. Make sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/KickoutWrestling, on Twitter at the Kickout Live, my Twitter at Dave Mandana, Daragh Zatz.
Mars Bar.
I'll be back next week on Near FM to talk about the latest in the world of pro wrestling, both here and abroad. We'll go out with this. This is our Christmas episodes. We hardly mention on this episode. We just get down to it as usual.
Yeah, it's because it's still a couple of days to go.
We're such Grinches, aren't we?
I don't know about you. I love Christmas.
You're wearing black right now. Don't say anything.
I always wear black. And so are you.
Yeah, I'm wearing all black. I can't see anything. We're both fucking Grooges. So we have to go out. We might as well go out with a bit of WWE's. You only told me mid-show during one of our breaks that they had a couple of Christmas songs. I had no idea about this. And this is one of them that we're going to play out now. So just load up there. So Daragh, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas to you, Dave. And happy Christmas to all our listeners.
Indeed. So until next week, I've been Dave Cullen. He's been Daragh Maher. This has been The Kickout. Thank you so much for listening and have a very happy Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house,
not a creature was stirring.
Not even a mouse.
You know, my Aunt Lindy had mice problems.
the stockings were hung
by the chimney with care.
Come for the sewers, these things.
No, that's
like
a
Ninja Turtles.
That's a rat, dude. That's not.
Like Splinter.
In hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
The children were nestled all snug in their beds,
while visions of sugar plums
danced in their heads.
What's a sugar plum?
I think it's a plum with sugar dipped on it or something like that.
And Mama in her kerchief, and I look exact.
I just settled down for the long winter's nap.
When out of the lawn,
there arose such a clatter.
I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter.
Away to the window I flew like a flash,
tore open the shutters and threw up the sash.
When what to my wondering eye should appear
but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer.
It's a scary sight. 8 reindeer. I mean, these are big reindeer. They're carrying.
Why do they say that they're tiny?
They're carrying a freaking sled.
Now Dasher, now Dancer,
now Prancer and Vixen. On Comet, 5. On Cupid,
6.
On Donna and Blitzen.
To the top of the porch!
To the top of the wall!
Now dash away!
Dash away!
Dash away all!
Hey, where's Rudolph?
He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf.
And I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself.
What were you wearing?
I don't know what it says.
I sleep naked.
He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work.
Filled all the stockings,
then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside of his nose,
and giving a nod up the chimney,
he rose
He sprang to his sleigh. To his team, gave a whistle.
And away they all flew.
Like the down of a thistle.
But I heard him exclaim,
as he drove out of sight,
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Happy Christmas!
Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
To all.
And to all.
And all a good night.
Why can't you mention Rudolph, though? What's wrong with Rudolph? Mention Rudolph. He led the sled.